Oops. You guys hear me? Hello, hello. No audio. Yeah. So, oh no, there we go. The stupid gesture wasn't working. The gesture control. So, I bought another microphone, and apparently it did not charge. And I thought it did charge, but I guess it didn't. Also, so for future Socrates, two things. Number one, when we have the startup slate, the audio did not play through, and it was playing through yesterday. So the update that we did last night is not playing through. And number two, the startup and the privacy screen do not mute the microphone by default. So we need to add that in there as well and make sure that we're muting the microphone by default. Let's see. Hear ya. We're good. So right now we're using the internal microphone on this. We're headed to Redrocks. We're like almost there. My car's like super hot right now. But I'm just letting the microphone charge just for a little bit, and then it should be good here shortly. But it still had all the plastic stuff left. So I bought a HoloLens because I gave another creator, he was having issues. He uses Android as well, and he was having issues on Android, and so I gave him my microphone so that he could use it. So yeah, how are we doing? Are we seeing video and audio okay? Everything looking okay? Check this out. We're getting closer to boom. We're getting closer to Redrocks here. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Redrocks here in Colorado, but it's cool. Right now we're streaming on a S25 Ultra, I think. So what sucks about the S25 is it doesn't have a few. Hold on. Let me expand this out just a little bit. Oh, that was weird. So when I adjust for future Socrates, when I adjust the overlay, it disconnects me and the signal drops. Did that drop for you guys? YouTube? Did that drop for you guys or just me? I'm gonna not do that here. So it looked like it dropped. Dang, I need TTS. You dropped the connection. Okay, cool. So for future Socrates, something that we need to fix is when I expand the new overlay, it drops the connection, which should not happen. Let's test that again here. I'm going to edit, move this, and then when we expand it, it's going to jack up something probably. Let's try that. Expand. Wait, that's kind of hard to do when I'm driving. All right, we'll wait. We'll wait to do that. Forgot to bring, I was going to bring, I have a Fuji X100 I was going to bring that, but it's like the afternoon, so it's not like the best time to take photos. And I'll probably won't see much good stuff. But, all right, let's try this one more time. I'm going to expand it down. And then expand it across. Well, that time it didn't die. That's interesting. I imagine TTS will be in the app, though. Yeah, so TTS is in the app. It just doesn't read chat right now. I guess that would be a good thing, right? But for large creators, it probably wouldn't be that great, because if we have TTS, it's just going to be like, how does it prioritize like reading chat, right? So we do have TTS, which I'll show when I park. But basically, in the overlay section, you can, like, if you have like alerts and stuff like that, you can enable them, and then we'll play out the audio with it. We mix the audio and the video, or sorry, we mix audio sources automatically. So it will play out your TTS, but then if you're talking with an external microphone, it will also play that out as well. So this is like way better, right? We got multi-chat, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. So Kick for some reason isn't showing up, but I'll test Kick right now, and I'll go over to Kick once we actually stop. It's freaking hot today. Let's see, what did you say? I need my stuff, but I should probably put on the background, right? So I can see that text a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. Chat, alpha. There we go. I need TTS for my stuff, but you can, yeah, like I said, TTS works if you use like third-party overlays. You can just use third-party if it's built into another service, and then you can just enable it in your settings, which I'll show you how to do. But native TTS on chat, we'll need to think through that, because like, how do you read so many comments at once? For like even medium creators, I think that's going to be too much. So we'll have to figure that out. Maybe we just have like the chat read out, because I forget, when you do like donos, it will read those, and maybe we can support that. But I think what you're talking about is it just needs to read everything, right? Which we definitely would need to think through. Let's look at Kick. Let's see if Kick is working. Kick chat's working. Dude, already it feels like my phone's gonna overheat. You're imagining thousands of chats at once. Most IRL streamers don't. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's fair. So what we can probably do is in chat have like a TTS toggle, so that if creators want to put TTS on, they can just toggle it on, and then it reads it. We'll have to integrate it, and like, you probably won't have like options for choosing like a voice and stuff like that, because we'll probably just pick one by default and then go with that. So that's not a bad idea. How's the video quality? Copy StreamBuddy homework. Yeah, StreamBuddy's pretty good. I know a lot of people use StreamBuddy, and maybe, but like, the goal of this app is to not have to use a separate app, but I don't think that there's any way around it, especially like when you start taking streaming more serious and you start interacting, and it does kind of make sense to have like another phone, which is good. So yeah, the only thing, so here's what I don't like on Android. If you have an Android phone and you're streaming on Android, is the encode quality is not great. And that's not like an us issue, that's like an Android specific issue, because each Android has an internal encoder, and that encoder is basically how it compresses the video and how it sends the video. It's not good on Android, period. It's way better on iPhone. iPhone's encoders are just much more superior for now. So I do like streaming on an iPhone a lot better, because it just looks better. So yeah, so I don't really like using Android. However, there's something big happening soon, and I just need to make sure that everything is good on Android, so that people using the app are not gonna have issues. So, and because I don't do Android a ton, it's good just to like figure it out and experiment. IRL whatever also does TTS. Oh, IRL Pro, I think it is. Streaming all together, but you'll have to just see how it works for your setup. Yeah, IRL Pro's pretty good, like from a simplicity standpoint. I really like their app. But we do have a lot more features than IRL Pro does. Obviously, IRL Pro is free, so that's probably why they don't have a ton of features. We don't offer a free version today. That doesn't mean we won't offer a free version. I think it makes sense that we eventually offer some sort of free version, so that users can at least stream before testing. But the reason why we have to charge is because we've got like a lot of the reason why we have to charge is we've got like it's all back-end server stuff. So everything that you do inside of OBS, if you're familiar with like an OBS setup, we have our own infrastructure, our own server, our own like SRTLA. So SRTLA is like fairly new. We call it ISX, and we've had that for a very long time. So that's why, let's actually go this way this time. IRL Pro is old, basically stopped using it because it doesn't do UVC. Didn't it used to do UVC at one point in time though? Would you suggest streaming on a Samsung S26 Ultra or an older 16 phone? So actually, that's a great question. The Samsung 26 works pretty good. The encoders, again, the encoders are just an Android issue altogether. The great thing about Samsung is they have pretty good thermals. So from an overheating issue, they manage heat pretty well. iPhone doesn't manage. So, you know what's funny? So I'm talking about how is my video choppy? It's choppy on my display. So I was literally talking about the phone overheating and how iOS does, or how Android does better, and then the Android overheated. Mainly because like the Colorado heat is like, and the sun is like super intense. And so yeah, that's funny. It totally like overheated and then died. So that's cool. Can you it should already actually, I can't go into my settings, but yeah, by default it's set to 60p. Yeah, it's not 30p, it's just my phone is hot. So anytime your phone is hot, the frame rate looks like super choppy, or everything just tends to like look super choppy. So we're gonna plug in the microphone now to, I think it's charged enough to actually use it. 2 1 2 testing. There we go. So again, the nice thing about this app is it automatically switches. So anytime you plug something in, you don't have to like select it, it's going to switch. The downside of that is if you have, what was I talking about? Oh, the downside is if you use the same streaming phone for like your car or like your glasses or something like that, it's going to, let's take off the alpha. It's going to, whatchamacallit, it's going to automatically switch to like your car and other places like that, which isn't good. I'm going to be streaming in Florida, so I'm concerned about overheating. Florida should be fine. Like Denver, the sun is just super intense here. Um, so, and like the way, the way that this was sitting on my mount, it's like right in the sun. So it's going to jack up. But like, you shouldn't have an issue in Florida. There's somebody that streams in Florida, and they stream for like 8 hours a day on Go, and I think they use an Android. They might use an iPhone too, and they don't have any issues. So it's going to be hot. Might save processing a bit with 30 frames. Yeah, that's a good point. But also if you're in dual mode, it switches to 30p because most phones can't do 60p, and most phones can't do 60p at the same time that they do other things. The other thing that we added, so this is before you guys, let's see. I can also manipulate chat, the zoom. So we can make the text smaller, hopefully. So now you can make the text smaller. So people, like, instead of, I was trying to think of a way, like, people were wanting to set the font, and I don't like the idea of like granular controls. So I just have a zoom setting. So now like people can make it small, you can make it large. So right now this is 75%, this is 100%, and then you can also scroll, which is also really nice. So yeah, for sure, but pip is going to require more processing power anyway, so pip or single yeah, you can switch that. So before you stream, you can switch the frame rate. So right now we only support 1080 streaming, and then 30, 60, 25, like whatever you want. But if you select 30p, like that's fine. You just can't dynamically switch your frame rate like while you're streaming. So you have to pick your resolution and frame rate before you stream. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Let's check Kick. I want to see if Kick is working or if that chat is broken. Hopefully it's working. Let's see. Where am I? Uh-oh. Is Kick not working? Yes, Kick is... Oh, Kick stopped. Wait, go to live. Yes, Kick is... Okay. Hello. All right, it works. Just nobody's watching on Kick. Oh, sad. All right, cool. Yeah, Kick works. To be fair, only the later Samsungs are capable of 60p anyways, pretty sure. 10 still limited 30p, so no matter what. Yeah, I'm sure that that's true. The problem with like Android in general is there's so many phones that I think you have to account for, and it's just really hard to account for all of them, and kind of impossible to account for all of them. So it's a little bit tough to do Android. How's the audio sounding on when it just switched to my Bluetooth right now? It sounded pretty clear. I just want to make sure that there's no like popping or anything. But yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I wasn't referring to IRL Pro. I was referring to IRL Whatever, which is a different app that does PIP, SRTLA, TTS. No, I've never heard of IRL Whatever. If that's like a real name, that's cool. Is it free? I'll definitely check them out. Do they have disconnect protection? Probably not if it's free, right? Audio sounds good, levels are good, no popping. Cool, awesome. Yeah, so the phone that I know has audio issues is the Google Pixel Pro or whatever. Luckily, I don't think a lot of streamers stream on that phone. But dude, that thing freaking sucks from an audio standpoint. It is not good. So yeah, a bunch of people like go hiking over here. They're free. Yep, it's from the company IRL Plus. Is that, I assume that's not US based, right? Because I've never even heard of people using that app. So maybe it's not IRL, whatever. I'll have to check them out. There's a ton of others that are out there. Like Streamable is like a new one that has a bunch of stuff. I don't think they have bonding or SRTLA, but they do have like disconnect protection and a few other things like that. But also Twitch has disconnect protection. So if you're back within 90 seconds, yeah, that's a good point. I saw that, but also like if you're multi-streaming though, that's only going to go so far, right? YouTube has like a backup clip that you can like put in there. Kick, I don't think has, oh no, they just built in disconnect protection, but you have to set it up in the desktop. Like that's the issue. Like if you have time, I think all of those services are great. But like our app is just designed that if you don't want to have to worry about any of that stuff, you literally just toggle it on and then you're done. And then you don't have to like stress out about anything. By the way, I'm holding the phone in a mount because it's just going to overheat if I put it in the sun. So I don't want to put it in the sun. It's literally like through the windshield, and it like hits my phone and like beats down on my phone. Oh dude, they opened up this parking lot here. See if it reconnects here. All right, I should be back live. So that spot all the time disconnects, which is why I kind of like doing this test, is because there's specific spots where I'll disconnect every time. So I can tell like if everything's working the way that it should. But yeah, what I was saying is like, you know, if you have the time to get everything like set up, but the app is designed just to like turn it on and go no matter the platform that you're on. Disconnect there, but good, we're good. Okay, I got a dip. All right, man, thank you. We'll talk soon. Be on the lookout next week for some cool stuff with the app. Some exciting things are coming everyone's way. Dude, there's a lot of stairs. Yeah, there's a spot that it also disconnects again. So it should disconnect one more time probably. Like sometimes it does disconnect, other times it doesn't. But I want to get, we're only 10 minutes in? No, because the app died, I forget. The app died and then, so we've got to, so how long have we been streaming for? Let me check. Let's check it out, what are we going to look at? Twitch? Okay. It may disconnect 28 minutes. Okay. I want to try to get at least an hour. I don't know if we're going to be able to do an hour. Because I've got a bunch of stuff that I've got to prep and do. So that may not work. Let's go to single mode again. Let's go. Boom. What are we doing? Dual? Hip. All right, there we go. Cool, that works. It should disconnect one more time. We're gonna go through this like little tunnel thing, and it may disconnect one more time. Right now it says that it's adjusting the stream quality, and we'll see if it brings us back. So now we're going through, here, let's do this. Doot, doot, doot. It might drop again. Here's the cool thing. So you guys can't see this, but on Android, let's see if it adjusts okay. It could be cut out. If you can adjust the threshold. So does it look like it's jacking up? Like, does it look like the threshold is too little time-wise? It shouldn't. Basically, the way that we calculate it is in packet loss. So yeah, you can't adjust the threshold. The way that we do it is with packet loss. So if there's like too much packet loss, we'll just go to the disconnect protection clip, like there, blip. It's really clean, but when it disconnects screen hits, it's like, why? It was looking great. That's not a good thing. So for future Socrates, you need to look at the network quality and the disconnect protection, because they're saying that the video actually looks good when it disconnects. So that's like an issue on Android that I've noticed. So I need to look at that. So I don't think there's an issue. There's just really bad signal here. So I think it just disconnects when the signal gets kind of crappy. But what we're gonna do is I'm going to make a phone call because I want somebody to monitor this stream. So let's call that person. I want them to monitor like the back end and see if the disconnect is actually something that's happening here. All right, I'm gonna mute here real quick. Okay. Maybe try saying that many frames is tripping. It could also be like the heat. Because it's, again, it's pretty hot. So I also don't know if you have to pay for parking here. I don't think you do. All right, let's get this stuff ready. I've got a little mesh bag that I put the modem in so that it can be okay. And then let's put this, let's hide that, and then we'll put on. So here's the thing so actually, no, we have I forget, I'm on the Android, so I won't have any issues with it auto switching. All right. Lock the door. Whoa. All right. We'll do some transitional lens action. Okay, cool. So now we'll do dual mode. And we'll check that out. So again, one of the things that we'll check is that anytime we disconnect, it looks like it's disconnecting premature, but I may have to get back in the car for that to like monitor that, to see if there's like a reason why it's disconnecting when it shouldn't.
If you're constantly sweating, like if you have to talk, you. Got it?
Majority of them are still in the Nashville area.
Okay, there's definitely something wrong. So 12:07 Mountain Time, the signal disconnected and it was fine. So for future Socrates, the signal looked fine. The notification on the app said that cellular was lost, and cellular just completely went away. Wi-Fi was still there, and then it went to disconnecting, trying to reconnect, and the cellular was fine. It shouldn't have lost the signal there. So what I've noticed on Android is anytime I stream, this used to happen when we first launched the app, but when we would stream for any period of time, it would just like disconnect. Hold on. Hello? What's up? Are you watching me? Oh, I thought because I'm doing a stream and I think we have some regression on Android. Yeah. Yeah, I muted the audio. Trevor, let me call you back. All right, sorry. Yeah, I muted the audio because I got a call that came in, so I was doing that. So it cut off again on this side over here. Let's see if we can get it to cut again. So I'm in the exact same spot. The signal is actually really good here. Normally it only cuts out at like 2 spots, and then everywhere around here, everything actually should be good. But what you see, so like if I'm walking over here, it should cut out. If it's a signal issue, it should cut out. And if it doesn't cut out, I'll go to these stairs over here, and it's cut out with me in the past. But there's definitely something going on with probably Android specifically, because we had an issue like this in the past when we first started. So let's see if it cuts out down here. And if it doesn't, then great. But at least what it's showing in the display is that the network connection is good, and then it will tell me that I've lost cellular, which is odd to lose cellular and then it disconnects after that. But the other side is normally okay. You can hear me now, right? External built in, yeah. So that should be good. So that's like a pretty serious issue that definitely needs to be addressed, because that one, if it's not fixed, it causes so many issues for users, because depending on the phones that they have, sometimes it can get into this like disconnect loop where it just disconnects and disconnects and disconnects. But if we've got a 6-second buffer, like, we shouldn't be running into that issue at all, even if the network connectivity isn't great. Like I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and it showed that I was pushing like 4 megs on Wi-Fi. And then when it said lost cellular and then it disconnected, 4 megs should be totally fine to carry the signal. And for some reason it didn't. So there's something going on, right? That we need to look at. Is the video stuttery, or did it clean up as well? Because in my display it's a little stuttery, so I'm curious what the temperature of the phone is. But it actually feels okay right now. Earlier it definitely was too hot, and that also could contribute to the signal dropping. Is if it's too hot, it can't keep like a stable signal, so it may drop more often. But right now it's kind of cleaned up. The audio seems a lot, or not the audio, forgot what I was saying. Something seems a lot better. Hey, check out these little birds. There's like a little bird feeder for them. So right now we're doing 3 destinations. We're doing IRL Toolkit, just because I kind of wanted to measure the stability of going into Toolkit. We're doing Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. Check this out. There's like a little water basin. You know what's ironic is that on Android, it zooms smoother than it does on iOS. But I still like iOS way better. And then we've got the Denver skyline right here. And then my house is somewhere over there. So the audio should be good now, right? We should be all right. Let's cut over to this side.
Yeah, look how high up you are right here.
So I'm wondering if it's a correlation between the phone heat, like how hot my phone was, and then the phone just kept disconnecting. Because right now it seems okay. But yeah, I had it on mute. That's why, because I had a phone call that came in, so it definitely was on mute.
but it should, there's a couple of places down there that it disconnects. So we're gonna do like a little circle. And then by that time, then I'll drive again and then we'll see if it just frequently disconnects. But it definitely was disconnecting way more than it should have, because it normally doesn't disconnect as much as it did. But like I said, I'm sure that it's probably an overheating issue alongside just the phone being hot and it just probably disconnecting and not like functioning the way that it should. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Hopefully not though. But hopefully it's like a regression that we can resolve, because that one is very important. Oh, but you know what? For what this is going to be used for, disconnect protection is going to be set to off. So they're actually not going to be using disconnect protection, but that just means if our stream isn't stable, there could be an issue with that. Hello? What's up, dude? I'm testing out this stream right now. I'll call you when it's done. All right, dog. Peace. That was our best bud, Mr. Tom Brown. Okay, this guy's dying. All right, we're gonna do a circle. So it hasn't disconnected again, which is good. Display the internal temp of the phone. Yeah, we're likely gonna add that, but the issue that we run into is that, especially with Android, it's not very simple, right? Because depending on what phone you have, the internal temp and how we get the internal temp could be impacted. But we've talked about displaying that and then having like some sort of notification that when it gets kind of hot and critical, it tells the user that they could start having issues or running into some issues. That's my assumption, because it seems pretty clean now, but it also doesn't look like stabilization is enabled. Oh, there we go. So did it disconnect again? So for future Socrates, if it disconnected, we're pushing like 5 meg on the bonded connection. So we're doing like 2.5 on cellular and then 2.5 on Wi-Fi. And so that should be plenty. Oh, I'm getting winded. It's hot. Freaking hot. So everything should be good, but maybe it disconnected there. But yeah, every time it disconnects, it has a pretty good signal. So I don't understand why that one disconnected. Miko, if you're paying attention, what did that disconnect when I was talking through it? Yeah, that's what we talked about, is to have notifications, no disconnect. Okay, that's my cue, because I usually do transcription on this, and so when I do transcription, I have that be my cue when I say future Socrates, and then it actually gives me an edit automatically based off of when I say that for future sock. So I have a pretty good workflow in troubleshooting this stuff. All right, well, that's good that it didn't disconnect. I'm curious if the signal was degraded, but it looks like this is probably just when I'm driving But again, I think the only thing that I can think of is that the phone just got too hot. And as it was cooling down, it was just going to the backup clip a ton because the signal's good. Like I said, I've done this drive a ton where it only disconnects, or it should only disconnect like twice. Sometimes it disconnects a third. And then like this whole section, here we go. It just cut out. Okay, it just cut out again. And from a display standpoint, I was pushing like 5 megs. So for future stock, if we can look at that one, so that's what, 2:20 Mountain Time when it disconnected. And so it definitely shouldn't have, because what was being displayed was showing like at least 5 meg. But I'm sure there's some sort of issue, but the threshold seems like way lower than what it used to be on. So I'm assuming something's up here that's just not right. We'll cut the stream a little bit early. Let's I'm gonna do some driving just to see, like, on the way down if it cuts. So there goes again. So it says adjusting stream quality. So sometimes it cuts out, sometimes it doesn't. But one cool thing that I noticed on Android is when you cut out, it changes the display now, whereas before it didn't. And it's great because you can alert the user when you're on the backup clip, which was the original intention, but it just never worked great. But on Android, it works pretty good. So okay, that's good that it's showing the same symptom. So what we'll do is we'll drive just for a little bit so that we get more data on it cutting, and then I'm gonna call you, Mr. Miko, and we can go over this. Oh, it's freaking hot. Okay, I'm gonna move this to here, and then it might get like overheated. Hopefully not, but it probably will. All right, let's roll down the window. Let's throw in some AC. Get some temperature adjustment going. I'm gonna run into this. So yeah, I don't like streaming on Android. Just feels like not a great experience, but there's definitely some stuff that we need to figure out. So if what had happened happens again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a circle, and it should cut out multiple times. We're gonna go down, and basically as soon as we get out of Redrocks, then I'll end the stream, and I'll give you a call. But there's also another weird thing. When I originally adjusted the chat overlay and I expanded it, both of my connections dropped. So for future stock, the first time I adjusted the chat, connections dropped. Both of them said Wi-Fi and cellular disconnected. Went to the backup clip. So here's what's weird. So cellular says that I have 5 meg. It's fluctuating between 5 and 2 or 3. but when it cut out, it showed that I had 5 meg of cellular and like 3 meg of Wi-Fi, and it dropped. So right now I have 5 meg of cellular. So like there's no reason why it should drop. Obviously, like the display is probably not accurate or like totally accurate, which is annoying, but that's still manageable. So it shouldn't show that it's dropping as much as it is. Like this. So this is more issues than I've ever seen in this specific spot. So every time I drive, so if we were to do this comparison on iPhone, I could do this whole drive. It would only drop in 2 places, and then all of this would be clean. So right now it says adjusting quality, so it could drop, but it says my cellular is 5 meg. My Wi-Fi is like 3 to 2. It's going to from like 2.5 to 3 to 4. So that shouldn't be the case, but for some reason it's jacking. Because it's focused on like the wrong thing. Now I'm back live. Yeah, there's something's going on here. Because when it dropped, it says on Wi-Fi I have 5 meg, and then on cellular it's going from like 2 meg to 1 meg to 3 meg. So that's fluctuating, but Wi-Fi should be able to carry the load. Because I'm on T-Mobile and I think the phone is on AT&T. I could be wrong though. All right, it's going to cut out 2 more times, and then I'll go ahead and end the stream. So it will cut out here soon. As soon as I go under this tree, it should cut out, and then we'll go around and up a hill, and then it will cut out there as well. And then I think we'll call it a day. And then I'll give you a call, and we'll talk about what. Okay. Oh, look at it. Check it out. Look what we have here. Got a little deer. Oh, focus sucks. See, there we go. Fixed it. Nope, just drifted again. Oh, whatever. Oh well. All right, it's going to cut out 1 more time. Oops. Hopefully it didn't cut off. There we go. Yeah, it should just multitask. Actually, I do want to try one thing. So multitasking. So we're going to go up this hill. It's going to cut out. And then I do want to try multitasking because we fixed one thing in the multitask, and I just want to make sure that it works. And then everything's okay, but it should cut out here. Cut out 4 meg, 6 meg. Okay, it just cut out. It cut out, but it was showing I was pulling 6 meg on cellular and like 4 meg on Wi-Fi. and it's still cut out. So that should not have happened. And I don't know why it did. Let's do this. I'm going to pull over here real quick. We're going to multitask. So before you weren't able to multitask, but now, why does that keep drifting? Look at, see that? Focus? Just drifts. Yeah, I need to, the focus drifts and drifts back. All right, let's multitask. So minimizing, going outside of the app. So I'm outside of the app. I am moving things around, going to the news. Now returning back to the app. Did that work? Did that cut out the stream? It should have worked. It looks like it worked. But iPhone does it better because on iPhone it like minimizes your screen. You can still see the screen when you're multitasking. So, W iPhone. Can I? No, I can't. All right. We're gonna go around and outside. It might cut out like one more time, and then I'll go ahead and end stream. And I think we've got our list of to-dos to figure this out and to get everything kind of working again. But yeah, this is a really nice way to test because it you've got some good spots where I know that it should cut out, and then you've got spots that I know it shouldn't be cutting out at all. So yeah, there's a deer up here again. Another one. No. Actually, I don't know where it went. Camouflage, dude. Camouflage. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it worked because it was kind of like intermittent, and we pushed a new update to it yesterday because I wanted to optimize a couple of different things, and it looks like that works, which is nice. On iPhone, it looks sick because on iPhone it shouldn't be possible to multitask, but we figured out a way to be able to do it, and it's nice because when you minimize it, you still see your screen. You can't see it here. You have a dent in your windshield. Yeah, it's like cracked all the way down on the right side. Oh, I think you're talking about this. That's definitely a rock, but over here, the whole windshield is cracked. I don't think you can actually see it from there, but like, yeah, the whole windshield is like totally jacked and cracked. All right, we're gonna end the stream. It's on a delay, so it will probably just cut off abruptly. So I'll wait just a little while to make sure that the stream catches up, and then I'll cut it, and then I'll give you a call, and we can talk through it.